prime example, Gravenberch was 1 year out of the team at Liverpool. He couldn't get into the team. Now we're talking about him as he one of the best number 6s in the world.
That is unbelievable.
That's how it can change. He just needs time. And right now, with the world and the way it is, everyone wants instant clicks. Everyone's looking at what social media think. Everything has to happen straight away. He needs a little bit of time. And Liverpool aren't quite flowing, but they will, because I love the future of Isak and Florian Wirtz, because when Florian does start to get his confidence up, and Mark's right, he's second guessing himself. He plays with blinkers when things aren't going well. When you're playing well, everything you know, everywhere, you can stop the game and say, right, he's there. He's having a bit of a difficult time, but he will come through this. He's too good a player. You know, when you watched him at Leverkusen, which you watched a lot of German football, he was wonderful to watch, and he's going to be a star for Liverpool. He just needs a little bit of time and patience and a bit of love. And he might not even play tomorrow. They might look at it tomorrow and go, how's this team going to set up? Do we want to play him against Caicedo, where it's going to be a battle? Or do we go with half an hour to go, we maybe bring him on, and we start with Szoboszlai as a 10. So it might just be adjusting and giving him certain games and taking him out for others. The fact that I think he played 90 minutes in midweek against Galatasaray. He is going to be a player, but he just needs a bit of time and patience.
When things are going tough, you're not playing to the level that you know you can play at, you do too much. You overdo things. So you take that extra touch. You want to beat someone, you feel like you need to do something special to justify all the hype. He just needs to simplify it. He needs to just give and go, because he's so skillful, so quick, so agile. He just needs to find his rhythm.
A lot of Liverpool fans have been kind of asking what would a Florian Wirtz look like on the left-hand side as opposed to in that 10. I mean, Mark, you've seen him quite a lot. I mean, how do you think he would adapt to a role like that?
I think he's more than capable of playing that role. We've seen him for Germany playing in various roles because of Musiala and Wirtz, those two combinations. I think they kind of move around and share that role at times. So he is fluid, he can be fluid. I think he's more than capable of playing any of those sort of roles. And I think the way that Liverpool can set up as well, I think they're very exciting going forward. They've got that movement. He's just got to give and go more rather than do too much.
Okay. Well, Liverpool head to Stamford Bridge tomorrow night to face a Chelsea team without a win in their last 3 league games. To discuss that and more, we're joined by former Chelsea midfielder Jody Morris. Jody, welcome to the show, mate. Thanks so much for coming on. I think whenever we talk about Chelsea, we look at Chelsea, you look at those results, you have to talk about the spending, because the spending is vast. And should we be always talking about Chelsea, given that money, as title contenders?
I think it's a fair question when you've unloaded that amount of dough over the past couple of years. I think there's a lot of maybe criticism aimed maybe sometimes at the owners and stuff about maybe the way they go about things. But for putting their hands in the pocket, there's not anything you can be saying or aiming at them. They've certainly put their money where their mouth is. Have they spent it as well as maybe they would have hoped? I think there's certainly areas and certainly money that's gone on players that haven't been a success, which obviously adds to the fact that people may be questioning it. But I think the fact that we qualified for the Champions League, we obviously went on to win 2 competitions, albeit I granted the Conference League isn't great, but if you're in it, you've got to go and win it. And we was favourites and we should have won that competition. But when you perform like we did in the final of the Club World Cup, I think the expectations levels go through the roof. Because for me, it was one of the best Chelsea performances in a final ever. I thought they was outstanding against a great team. Now, what comes with that and that success is obviously the eyes and people looking at your team thinking, okay, let's see what they're going to do. If we're being brutally honest, the money that was spent and maybe the players that were bought in the summer, there's some of them that are not even getting in the starting lineup. And I think that when you want to push to the next level and when you want to maybe go and start challenging for league titles, you'd expect maybe some of the signings to be going straight into the 11 in maybe areas of weakness or what was perceived weakness. And that hasn't quite happened at the moment. And obviously the start that we've had just means that you've got more people talking about the poor start, basically.
Yeah, it's interesting hearing you talk about, certain areas that really weren't focused on maybe in the transfer market as well. One of them being the goalkeeping situation. It seems to be something that even Chelsea fans, they're discussing, the issues they're having with goalkeepers constantly. Were you surprised to see that there wasn't someone new brought in?
Yeah, I was surprised. Obviously, speaking to a load of my Chelsea pals, I think anyone that I spoke to was basically like, surely we'd be looking at the goalkeeper and maybe a bit more of an experienced centre half. And then it looks like we've gone out and got a couple of wingers that are not necessarily firing on all cylinders and not getting in the starting lineup. So I think that's a fair question. It's difficult sometimes because you don't know where to aim that question. We don't know whether Enzo Maresca was looking at trying to bring in a goalkeeper. I mean, I think it's fair to say that Chelsea made an attempt. Obviously, Mark will know more than me, but they made an attempt in the summer it was to try and I think go for the Milan keeper, and it didn't quite come off. So it's not like I don't think they was trying. Now, a lot of the Chelsea fans that I speak to and my mates were really calling on us to try and make a play for Donnarumma, being that he's a world-class goalkeeper. And I think, like I said, if ever you can make improvements along amongst your squad, I mean, Donnarumma would improve a lot of teams, not just Chelsea. So, yeah, I think it's a fair question, but obviously we don't know what was going on behind the scenes and whether the manager is particularly happy with where the strengthening went on in the squad. Who knows?
Yeah, Jody, thank you so much for being on the show tonight, mate. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you, mate. Really interesting there from Jody. Mark, I'm going to pick it up with you on the goalkeeping situation at Chelsea. I mean, what were your thoughts?
I agree. That was the one position I thought that would potentially be strengthened. I mean, in saying that, Robert Sanchez had probably his best game for Chelsea in that final against PSG. Yeah. And you kind of feel, look, he's had a lot of criticism. There's no doubting his ability. He's an athlete. He's incredibly quick, agile, but he's made a lot of mistakes, too many mistakes. One of his strengths is with the ball in his hands, as in distribution. Not necessarily the ball at his feet, but his distribution, his ability to throw and long kicks has been exceptional. That to a degree has let him down. And the way that Chelsea want to play, it's been detrimental. It was the game against Brighton last weekend, and any time they kind of had a problem, it sort of generally started from him. So whether it was a bad pass, an overpass, went out for a throw-in, and then from that point, that's where Brighton created a problem, or a missed kick. And that happened a lot for him over the course of the time he's been at the club. So I agree with Jody. Donnarumma would have been, I thought, the perfect fit for Chelsea. Maybe he doesn't fit the kind of the transfer policy of Chelsea, but I think that's an exception to the rule. I think the goalkeeping position, when a player like that becomes available at the price that he was at, I think he was a no-brainer.
How difficult is it as well, Mark? Because as a goalkeeper, each week having to work with different centre-back partnerships. Colwell was a massive blow to them getting injured before the season even started, did his cruciate. So every week it feels like they're having to go a different way.
I think it gets magnified when you're not in a good place yourself. So when you're hit and miss, your consistency levels as a goalkeeper has been average or just okay, and your confidence is being hit time and time again with making mistakes, having a couple of good games, but then making mistakes and costing yourself goals. If Petr Cech was in goal, that wouldn't be that big a deal. Even he would say, yeah, look, it's hard because I'm not playing with the same partnerships all the time, but this is a guy that was world-class, played at a certain level of consistency every week. And you kind of go and put anyone in front of him and he's still going to do his job and he's going to be brilliant. And that's the difference. You don't have that at the moment. You don't have a goalkeeper that's flying and has got this bank of credit that if he makes a slight mistake, the whole crowd's not going to go crazy. Now, the minute there's a miss kick, you hear the oohs and ahs in the crowd. That doesn't help you as a goalkeeper.
Well, it's going to be a fascinating game tomorrow. We're going to take
Tomorrow, Stamford Bridge will host one of the biggest matches of the Premier League weekend as Chelsea face Liverpool. For Liverpool, this clash is not only about 3 points, but also about showing strength and keeping their title momentum alive under new manager Arne Slot. Liverpool arrive in London sitting first in the Premier League table with 15 points from 6 games. With 5 wins and just 1 defeat, Slot's men have started the season brightly and shown signs of a team capable of challenging for the title. Despite setbacks against Crystal Palace and Galatasaray recently, Liverpool remain a side packed with quality, depth, and belief. Their pressing game, attacking options, and ability to deliver on big occasions make them a dangerous opponent for anyone. Chelsea, meanwhile, have endured a mixed start. The Blues currently sit 8th in the table with 8 points, collected from 2 wins, 2 draws, and 2 defeats. Their Champions League victory over Benfica gave them a confidence boost, but in the league, they have struggled for rhythm. Injuries have hurt them, defensive lapses have cost points, and consistency has been missing. Historically, Liverpool hold the upper hand in this rivalry, with 87 wins to Chelsea's 66 and 46 draws between them. The Reds' record reflects their status as one of English football's giants, and this fixture offers them another chance to assert that dominance. Key battles will shape tomorrow's game. Liverpool will be without first-choice goalkeeper Alisson, meaning Mamardashvili must step up in a high-pressure environment. Up front, players like Alexander Isak, supported by a versatile attack, can stretch Chelsea's defense. In midfield, Liverpool's intensity and quick transitions could be the decisive factor, especially if Chelsea struggle to handle the pace. Thanks for watching, Reds. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to Matchday Liverpool, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the latest news, highlights, and analysis from Anfield. Up the Reds!